I want to show you how to work on an acrylic portrait using the glazing technique, portrait of several people. I have a 16 by 20 portrait here with 8 people, and I'm working on it right now. Just establishing more shading, more detail. Right now we've got a good sense of the structure blocked in. We've got a few layers on this canvas, but we want to add more and just basically tighten up some of the tonal values and just make everything a little more realistic. And it's going to take time. With this technique, you kind of fade it in like a Polaroid photograph, and you add a lot of translucent glares using the glazing technique, which basically we just take some matte medium, paint, mix it in the middle here, a little bit of paint, a lot of matte medium, like a ratio of 90% matte medium to 10% paint, something like that, and then we glaze using these translucent mixtures on the canvas, building up shading and depth. So this is where I'm at right now. I'm just going to ask a quick blessing on this portrait, then I'm going to dive into the process. So Father, I ask you to bless this painting here, help me to be able to show the people watching the next steps. I pray you bless the students watching. I pray that this would encourage them, give them some good tips on their painting that they can utilize. Bless this painting. Help me to get it done for Christmas. And I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, so we're going to dive in here, and I'm going to basically just block in more shading on top of what we already have. So this is how we build up depth in an acrylic portrait. Now, I have my reference photo here. It's off camera. You might be able to see it a little bit. It's kind of covered up by my other camera, but this is what I'm working from, is this reference photo here. And so just trying to, again, build up all the shading here with what we've got. All right. So what we're going to do, and actually at some point we need to also block in a little shading for the background. So I might put in a couple of glazes for that. I'm going to take a little bit of raw umber dark, add that to some ultramarine blue. You have a little bit here. I grabbed too much. All right, just wipe it off to the side, and then control the mixture. We're just trying to create kind of a neutral gray background, maybe a little slightly to the warmer side. But I'm just going to go ahead and pop in a little bit of a glaze on the top, so it's not just straight white. Give it a little bit of depth here. We just use some short diagonal strokes and just kind of weave in and out. You know, it's good to not overdo it. You just want to basically make it look organic. And a little fleck of paint get in there. Sometimes that'll happen with the glazing technique. You'll pick up a little dust or something or debris from your palette. So you just wipe it out of there. It's not a big deal. Try not to make it look too contrived. You can use a little dry brushing technique when the paint on your brush gets exhausted at the end. You can see there's less paint on the end, and then we can just kind of dry brush it. This technique is not an excellent technique for preserving your brushes, unfortunately. It does tend to build up in the heel of the brush, so just be aware of that. But it does have a lot of benefits if you can buy less expensive brushes and just, you know, just work them until they're ready to be thrown away. Or like what I do, I just give them to my youngest daughter, and she can paint with them and just use them for craft paints. So there's always a way to upcycle or recycle. But we just try to do what we can do here. All right, give a little bit of shading there, and that just builds a little shading on the background. Very, very subtle. I mean, you can probably just barely see what I'm even doing. The glaze is so light. And that's because I control it on the palette. So, you know, I've got a large amount of matte medium has nothing mixed into it, and then I can always control the mixture between the paint that I dab off of my main palette areas here into the mixing area. I can control that mixture where I have pure matte medium, pure paint, and then whatever's in the middle, I can always control that ratio, that mixture of paint to matte medium, and I can get it between 0% all the way to I'm not going to say completely opaque, but you know, at least 50% opaque, which is very opaque. Okay, I want to do some more layers. It's time to just kind of colorize this man on the left. We want to get some greenish hues on here and just kind of darken his clothing a little bit. For that, I'm going to take a slightly smaller brush. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just take this, this looks like a 1/2 inch flat, or 5/8 flat. And I think that's going to work really nicely. So we'll take this 1/2 inch, 5/8 flat. Let's go to our palette, and we want to get kind of a greenish hue, just looking at the reference photo, letting that reference photo be our guide, painting what we see and not what we think we see. Take a little raw sienna, phthalo blue, mix them together, and just a little bit of ultramarine blue so the color is somewhat desaturated, because phthalo blue is more of a greenish blue, ultramarine blue is more of a purple blue, so we can use some of that blue into the mixture and desaturate it so it's not super intense aqua green. We're trying to make a green here that's yeah, just a little more on the grayish side based on what I'm seeing on my reference photo. So we're just gonna zoom out a little bit, bring my camera down, and then we're gonna go from there. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and start filling this in. Now, if I don't get the color right on this application, I always have a few more opportunities with the glazing technique to get it right. You can see, you know, how it's shifting it a little bit, and these glazes are working synergistically. So basically, since we already have some layers on here, it's just building on top of what already's there. Just like if you were to take 2 pieces of stained glass and overlap them, like a yellow and a red piece of stained glass, you would get orange if you look through them. It's the same kind of principle here. So we're getting that synergistic effect of all these layers together. Now, so far I've only got maybe, I would say 4 layers, something like that. 3 or 4 layers, not a ton, but it's enough to give us some depth already. We just continue to build that. So now we shifted that color a little bit more toward what it should be. We preserved all the details underneath, and that's one of the great benefits of the glazing technique. I just want to double check, make sure my microphone's not too hot here. Okay, hopefully that's a little better. Looked like it was peeking out just a bit. Okay, now I always ask myself, can I use this glaze anywhere else? It's kind of a particular color just on his clothing, but just for color harmony, maybe I'll add just a pinch of it over here on this young man's clothing, even though he's not really wearing that kind of a hue in our reference photo, but just putting a little bit of that color on there, the greenish hue. Maybe I'll also put a little bit of it right here on this man, just to get a little bit of color harmony. So even though his clothing is going to be blue, I just want to put a pinch of this color that's over here into here and just promote some good cohesiveness. And that's something we can do as artists. We don't have to always go with what we see in our reference photos if we think of something that might improve the portrait. As a matter of fact, that greenish color that's in this man's clothing here on the left might be better put into the man's pants legs, which are kind of a gray, but I could introduce a little of that color there. That might be a more natural spot to put it. So yeah, I think I'll do that. See, and I could even introduce a little bit of it into her clothing, and just this woman in the middle is wearing black, and I know it seems strange because it's not black yet, but I can just add a layer here and basically just get it a little bit darker, and then we'll get a little bit of that color harmony as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply this on top of her clothing, and it'll just make the black more rich because it's going to have more layers. So just do that, and that will again help and the overall color harmony. Okay. So I just added a little bit of ultramarine blue to my mixture here. All right, a little bit of ultramarine blue. Then I'm going to add a glaze to this woman's jeans right here. Or sorry, I don't know what they are. There's some kind of dark pants. So just add that there and just get it one level darker. There. Could also darken his pants on the right hand side, although this color is not exactly what it should be. So I'll have to come back with another color to kind of compensate. But this will be fine. It'll just get us a little closer to the blue jeans that he should be wearing. Use very smooth strokes to blend it out. Use a lot of pressure initially, push that paint into the weave of the canvas, then smooth it out with very short, even strokes. All right, I will lastly put a little bit of a glaze right here on this woman's jeans in the middle. And it's not a perfect color match, so I'll have to come back and adjust it. It will give us a little bit of an idea of what we're needing to do. Darken that as well, give us a little more contrast. I'll just put a little bit of this color on the dress, kind of dry brush it in. There. So a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So now we were able to take that color and utilize it in a lot of different places and really enhance the contrast. I would say lastly, I use a smaller brush, give me more control. I'm going to use that same color I mixed. And you can see it on the palette here, what it looks like. You might be curious as to what it looks like on its own. So if I were to just I'll take this envelope here. Where is it? You can see what it looks like on a white envelope all by itself. That's what it looks like on this white card. See? And then we're going to take this color and we're going to apply that to this young man back here. We'll just kind of darken this area. Now this is going to eventually be black that he's wearing, but I just want to get one more layer back there. Cutting around the woman's hair. There we are. Eventually it'll be turning black. For now that will work. So this is what we've got. So far on this painting, I just wanted to show you how the glazing technique works and how you can build up shading and depth on a portrait of several people and how you approach painting several people at once. A lot of times artists would just work on maybe one person and go from left to right, but really the best way I feel is to work on everything at once so you get a cohesive sense of tonal value, contrast, and color harmony, and really know what your painting's going to look like when it's finished. It's just like you're seeing it in a lighter version, a more faded version. So I hope this is helpful. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel for more videos like this, and check out more of my online tutorials, tips, videos, classes at realisticacrylic.com. That's Realistic Acrylic Portrait School. I'd love to connect with you there. And thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for being a part of what I'm doing here. Looking forward to connecting with you more. All right, well, God bless. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.